Hey yo, welcome back to the Kaiba Show. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is back in town. So let's get it.
Welcome to the Kaiba
All right, people. So unless you've been living under a rock, you already know who stars in this movie. We have Tom Holland, we have Zendaya, Benedict Cumberbatch, we got William Dafoe is back, Alfred Molina, we got Jamie Foxx, Jon Favreau, and the list goes on. And it is directed by Jon Watts. And basically, the premise of this movie, once again, if you've been living under a rock and haven't seen any trailers, this movie introduces the multiverse. So that's how we're seeing villains from Tobey Maguire's movie back in here. And the villains from Andrew Garfield's movie is back in here. And that's all I'm going to say without ruining the story. That's pretty much the premise of this movie. Tom Holland's Spider-Man opens up the multiverse and we're getting villains from other movies back in here and he has to stop them. That's it. So let's get straight into it. First off, people, this is probably the best one out of this trilogy, number 3. And it's very rare that I will ever say that the third movie in the trilogy is the best, but I will say Tom Holland's Spider-Man No Way Home is the best one out of this trilogy. The story was fleshed out. The action was on point. The acting was on point. And I just loved everything about this movie. It was a solid, well-made, fleshed out movie. And it was a great way. This was a fan service to the fans. It was a great way to flesh out certain characters that didn't get their just due in the previous Spider-Man movies. For example, Jamie Foxx and a few other villains. I felt like they tied in loose ends. Because if you remember the Andrew Garfield movie, we were supposed to get a trilogy and we never did, and they were supposed to introduce the Sinister Six. And I think this was a great way for Sony and Marvel to finally, give the fans that service. And we got the Sinister Six, not in the way we were supposed to get it, but they introduced it in a tasteful way. And I love that aspect of it. And I'm letting you guys know right now, this is a spoiler alert. I'm sorry I got to do it for this review. This is a spoiler alert, so stop watching right now. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield is back in this movie. That's right. We have got 3 Spider-Mans on the film, and it was a great nostalgic feeling. Oh my God, to see Tobey Maguire back in his original Spider-Man costume, Andrew Garfield in his, and Tom Holland, and they was kicking tail together. That was a great fan service. I felt like the young 15, 14-year-old Kai when Tobey Maguire's first movie came out back in 2002. And the feeling that just overwhelmed me, the fans went nuts in the theater. I haven't been in a theater where the fans went nuts like that probably since Endgame. And just to see these two grace us again with their presence, it was the best thing ever. I loved everything about this movie. Tobey did a good job. Andrew did a good job. And they also tied up loose ends with those 2 characters because we were supposed to get us 4 Spider-Man with Tobey and we never did. So they kind of tied up loose ends that we never got answers for with his trilogy. And then they also tied up loose ends with Andrew Garfield's character that we never got from his 2 movies because we were supposed to get a 3rd movie, but they scrapped it and decided to start over with Tom Holland. So it was a great way to send a lot of characters off into the sunset that didn't get their just due because we didn't get explanations, or it was supposed to be a trilogy that would have just tied up, loose ends, like I said. So other than that, this movie was phenomenal. You guys are going to love it. If you don't, there's something wrong with you. So on the Kaiba scale, a 1 to 10, I'm going to give this movie a solid 9, people. A solid 9. I enjoyed every aspect of it. The only negative thing I could say about this movie is it was too jokey in the beginning. The first 20 minutes, there was a lot of jokes. For me, that did not land. But as the movie carried along and they started to, dumb down the jokes, because we all know Marvel is very good for making their movies comical. Once they dubbed it down and the movie got a little bit more of a serious tone, and even though every now and then it will throw a joke in there, it started landing more for me. So that's the only negative thing. Cut some of the jokes out. But the movie was very emotional. There was times in there where I did get emotional because they touched on certain stuff that I don't want to ruin it for you guys. But I will ruin that Tobey and Andrew is back. That's right, people. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield is back in this movie, and I loved everything about it. So definitely go check it out. It's definitely worth paying for IMAX tickets, regular admission. And when this joint come out in 4K, Blu-ray, all that good stuff, it's definitely going to be worth the buy. If anybody has anything negative to say about this movie, I don't know, there's something wrong with them. This movie was phenomenal, and it's a solid 9 on the Kaiba scale, 1 to 10. So you guys know the drill. If you like what you see, you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button. After doing that, hit the bell button so you get notified every time I upload a video. And please leave a comment at the bottom. Let me know what you thought about this new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, and hit the like button. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.